With a rich tradition in all-wheel drive technology, reliable engines, and fun driving dynamics, Subaru is a very respected and beloved car manufacturer. But does the 2024 Outback model live up to its brand expectations? We're about to find out. Number 1. Random problems with the electronics. Comfort and utility is great, and the Outback continues to be the family wagon you can take on off-road adventures. All-wheel drive is standard, which is a Subaru staple they take great pride in. What they cannot be so proud of, however, are the different electronic systems on the car that a lot of owners complained about over the years. And the issues seem to be still here in 2024. Radio would turn on by itself randomly or change stations. The power-adjustable memory seats sometimes don't work, or would only work if the passenger gets in the car first. The AC struggles, especially in the Texas heat. The front vents are quite narrow and oddly placed, so that the steering wheel blocks the airflow from reaching the driver. The heated and ventilated seats also act up sometimes. One owner complained that after less than 250 miles, the fans in the seats began to make really loud noises and vibrate really badly. The Subaru forums are also full, with owners complaining about battery problems, including the battery dying constantly with no known cause. The engine starter often appears to malfunction, leading to difficulties in starting the cars. Owners had to replace the starters after less than a year of ownership. That is not normal. Number 2, the infotainment system is not entertaining at all. Depending on the trim level, the 2024 Outback features either two stacked 7-inch touchscreens or a massive 11.6-inch vertical touchscreen for the infotainment system. It comes with built-in navigation, a Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging as optional. Apple CarPlay or Android Auto are standard. There's also an available 12-speaker, 576-watt Harman Kardon audio system. The basic dual-screen setup looks really cheap, so it's sort of mandatory to pay extra for the single large display. Even so, the resolution of the 11.6-inch screen isn't particularly sharp, and that's not even 10% of the problem. The first annoying thing that you'll notice after owning the Outback for a few months will be the absence of buttons. Almost everything in the car is controlled through the touchscreen, and maybe you do love that, but what you'll hate is the slow responsiveness of the said screen. Owners often complain that it takes 4 to 11 seconds for the screen to react to their inputs. Most of the AC controls are buried deep in the menus of the infotainment system. Even the auto hold function is a touchscreen input, so you'll find yourself having to go through the touchscreen display a lot while driving. Pair that with the slow responsiveness of the system, and the car will beep you to focus your eyes on the road. And that's quite ironic, right? The driver monitoring system that tracks your eyes while driving will beep you for spending too much time looking at the infotainment screen, when in fact you don't have a choice if you need to make some adjustments to the ventilation. But there's one workaround here. Wear a pair of sunglasses and a hat that'll trick the driver monitoring system. At least that's what some owners claim. And on top of all of these, other owners' complaints about the infotainment system include black screens, excessive lag, dropped calls, and phone connectivity issues. Number 3, no 360-degree camera option. As of now, there's no 360-degree camera option, or at least a front camera. That's really disappointing and baffling. The Subaru Ascent comes with a 360-degree camera. Couldn't they just take it from there? The only camera you get in the Outback is a rear-view camera, and that's quite low quality. During heavy rain, sunny days, or when it's really dark, the rear-view camera becomes almost useless. Do you know what's also useless in the Outback? The voice response unit. You ask for Costco and you get Pasco. You need to check the calendar and it turns on maximum cooling. And don't pay for the built-in wireless charger. It might overheat your phone to emergency shutoff levels. And speaking of phones, we've also read reports from owners complaining that their iPhones stopped being recognized by the car, and they had to restart the car a couple of times for the problem to go away. What can you say? The Outback is quite a whimsical vehicle that'll hit you with random technological and electronics issues when you least expect it. Number 4, insufficient cabin storage. The Outback is a very comfortable car for the money. The front seats are great, supportive, with a decent amount of bolstering. The ride quality is also excellent. Potholes, speed bumps, or drainage ditches won't cause any trouble. The cargo space is 32.6 cubic feet behind the rear seats and 75.6 cubes with the second row folded down. These are great numbers, and the car's utility is increased even more with the low loading floor and the wide cargo opening. However, we can't say the same thing about the cabin storage. The center console storage space is limited due to the relocation of the CD player from the dashboard to the console. There are some pockets on the side of the center console, but they're so narrow that there's no real utility for them. The door pockets hold a small water bottle, but not much else. The The glove box is mostly occupied with the owner's manual and nothing else. Moreover, beneath the infotainment screen, there's a deep, narrow slot with 2 USB ports, an audio jack port, and a small place to tuck your phone or keys when you're not charging your phone. And unfortunately, that's about it. Additionally, the glossy black plastic gives the whole interior a boring and cheap look, and it tends to attract a lot of fingerprints, but maybe that's just our personal opinion. Number 5. Disappointing driving assist technologies. The EyeSight is Subaru's signature driving assist technology, combining features such as adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and sway warning, pre-collision braking assist, or pre-collision throttle management. However, owners frequently complain of the steering assist being too aggressive, especially when passing on the highway. In bad weather, the whole EyeSight suite would turn itself off automatically and would take a long time to come back on. What's even worse is that sometimes the EyeSight often sees ghosts in the road and would engage the emergency braking, almost causing a rear-end collision. Even when everything from the adaptive cruise control to lane keeping assist works well, owners often complain of the constant beeping and dinging notifications it sends. Number 6. Clunky stop-start system. The Subaru automatic stop-start system has some very well-known issues in the Subaru world, and the Outback is no stranger to it. First of all, the engine is quite clunky when it stops and starts automatically at a red-green light. Sometimes owners even complain about a slight engine hesitation and sputtering. Even more, reports show that the automatic start-stop feature might increase the wear and tear on the battery, starter, or engine parts. To help prevent that, you can disengage the shutoff switch. However, you need to do that every time you start the car because the feature reactivates after the shutdown. Number 7. Real miles per gallon is a lot lower than official estimates. The EPA estimates 26 miles per gallon in the city and 33 on the highway for the standard Outback. The turbocharged version is a lot less efficient, with 23 miles per gallon city and 30 on the highway. However, current owners of the current Outback generation report values 20% lower than that. For example, one owner reports an average of 18.2 miles per gallon on the highway and 14 miles per gallon in the city. Other current owners of the 2023 Outback report an average of 23 to 24 miles per gallon on the highway, which is way less than what's estimated by the manufacturer. Official reviewers also managed about 20 miles per gallon combined with the standard engine. Maybe it's also because it's quite feeble, demanding a lead-footed approach to keep up with the busy traffic. Number 8. Slow acceleration from the standard engine. The standard engine on the 2024 Outback is a 2.5-liter flat 4-cylinder, putting out 182 horsepower, but we recommend you choose the optional turbocharged 2.4-liter. It churns out 260 horsepower, and 0 to 60 happens in about 6 seconds. The flat 4, on the other hand, will get to the 60 miles per hour mark from a standstill in about 8 to 9 seconds. It does get the job done on a daily basis, but it feels like it's giving its all to reach highway speeds, and you'll always have to floor it to make sure you keep up with traffic. The CVT transmission doesn't help either. It's lazy, it's clunky, it's a CVT, and that says it all. Moreover, you might find the engine's vibration while at a standstill quite annoying. Number 9. It's got a lazy CVT transmission. Well, maybe most of the issues with the engine are related to the transmission. It's a CVT, a continuously variable transmission. Generally, the CVTs are slow, lazy, and quite unremarkable. They basically consist of a chain belt and a number of cones that increase or decrease the belt diameter to change the gear ratios. Now, on the Outback, the CVT transmission seems to have a hard time communicating with the engine. Basically, you'll never know what will happen if you give it gas. Sometimes it'll take off, sometimes it doesn't. It's quite whimsical and unreliable. It's like it's always searching for the appropriate gear ratio, always hesitating. Moreover, there are reports from owners who had their transmissions changed after only 1,600 miles or 4,000 miles. One owner had an unrepairable leak on their new 2023 Outback after 300 miles. In the end, the dealership agreed to change it completely. Number 10. O2 sensor problem. Some Subaru Outbacks also had issues with the O2 sensor. This is part of the fuel system, and apparently it can develop a crack. You get a check engine light, and if you're lucky, the dealership will figure out the problem in a few weeks. Well, we're just pessimistic. The problem is not the end of the world, but you should know about this issue that has plagued many Outback model years, and there were also recalls about it in the past.